picks, 4 first-round picks, 4 unprotected future first-round picks, a protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, and outstanding rookie point guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari for Paul George. Paul George came to the Thunder in the last couple of days and asked to be traded to the Clippers. He wanted to play with Kawhi Leonard, and to get this deal done to stave off the Lakers, stave off the Toronto Raptors, the Los Angeles Clippers, Steve Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, their president, made a decision to make, really a historic commitment to deliver 2 All-Stars to their team. And now in Staples Center, it's Paul George and Kawhi Leonard against Anthony Davis, LeBron James.
From what you're hearing, with Paul George going to the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard, if OKC didn't help to make that trade happen, would Kawhi Leonard have gone ahead and picked the Clippers if George was not coming with him?
I don't believe Kawhi Leonard was going to go to the Clippers without a second star coming in. I think essentially Kawhi Leonard's position in these last couple of days to all the teams was, I'm maybe going to go to the best team and the team that loads up. And the Clippers were the team that had to make a move to bring in a second star. There is more talent with the Lakers, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Obviously, the team he left in Toronto. The Clippers had been Kawhi Leonard's focus for this entire process, but they needed to improve themselves. They go out and get Paul George, and now you have these 2 elite bookend forwards to play together, but they paid a steep price. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, their first-round pick last year, had an outstanding rookie season. Patrick Beverley will be their point guard now, but the Clippers, faced with the idea of Kawhi Leonard setting up shop in their own building with the Lakers and what that big 3 would have looked like, or even him going back to Toronto, they went all in a way that we have not seen a team previous go all in.
This is amazing. Adrian Wojnarowski, you've been following it all along. Hard to predict. Just incredible. Thank you for your insight joining SportsCenter.
Thanks, Linda.
All right, let's bring in Rachel Nichols now, host of The Jump on ESPN. She joins us from Las Vegas. Rachel, first of all, your general reaction when you heard the news of Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers with Paul George in this trade.
Well, it's amazing. We've been hearing little rumors about this for the past couple of days, but nothing solid enough for our reporters to put out there. But, we have these back discussions, right, when we're sitting around waiting for all this news to come in, meaning, okay, if this really happened, if Paul George really was going to get that trade from Oklahoma City and go to the Clippers with Kawhi, what price is too high for the Clippers? What do you think the trade would actually be? And what I've been saying for the past couple of days is there's no price too high. The thing is that by making this deal, the Clippers aren't just trading for Paul George. You can think of all those picks and pick swaps and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari as trading for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Because Woj, what he just said on the air is, as usual, absolutely true. They are not getting Kawhi if they don't bring in another superstar of that caliber. So that's why this deal got made. And as you see, as we get through the next 24 hours, just how high that price tag is. Keep in mind, it's for 2 superstars, and you're talking about the Finals MVP who just rolled over and won a championship, and now he's going to have Paul George with him, a guy who, as he just tweeted the other day, has 2 healthy shoulders now and is ready to roll.
Rachel, think about how the landscape has changed, big picture now in the NBA. We went into last season thinking about this Warriors dynasty and would there be any competitive balance in the short term? And in the process of one off season, everything has changed and there's competitive balance all over the league now.
Absolutely. And just think about what that Brooklyn team is going to be when Kevin Durant gets healthy. This is the thing about the NBA. We have a lot of discussions about going forward and what's the future going to be, and people saying, oh, I don't even need to watch. I know what's going to happen. I heard so many times, Dan, over the last 6 months, I don't even need to watch. We know what's going to happen. Guess what? The Golden State Warriors did not win the title in June. The Toronto Raptors did, which is something to think about at this time last year, right? I mean, you never would have expected it. Toronto hadn't even made the trade for Kawhi yet. Now, a year later, Kawhi Leonard is an LA Clipper, and that rivalry in the building is going to be insane. I mean, Linda picked the right time to move to Los Angeles, don't you think?
Absolutely, and we're glad to have her. So now, what for the Lakers? Because they had a lot invested in attracting Kawhi Leonard with Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Absolutely. And look, they knew this was a high-risk gamble for a couple reasons, not the least of which is the longer they waited for Kawhi, the more other free agents they missed out on. They have this cap room that they had sort of scrounged and gathered together to get Kawhi Leonard. But if they didn't get Kawhi Leonard, they knew that they could at least spend that on some really good complementary role players. The problem is a lot of those role players that they would ideally have loved to have on the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James have been snapped up by other teams in the last 5 days. So there are still some guys who have been waiting, frankly, for this decision, waiting on Kawhi, not because they necessarily want to join where Kawhi was going to go, but because they knew that the two teams that didn't get Kawhi would suddenly have more room, especially the Lakers. The question now is, who are the Lakers going to get? Are some of the guys who waited going to fall their way? Can they fill out a team, and can they do it quickly? Because once the trade for Anthony Davis executes, and this has sort of been the other thing hovering over the Lakers the last 24, 48 hours, once that starts to domino, they won't have as much cap room because the guys they're sending out make less money than the guy that they're bringing in Anthony Davis. You can do that with a player of that level. You can bring in 125% of the salary that you are sending 100% out. But that means that their cap room will shrink. So it's unclear if those trades are going to start executing right away at noon tomorrow, which is when they officially can start. The league has a whole big backlog of trades to get through, and also some of the teams involved may be able to give the Lakers some grace period. They may choose to, they may not. But that is another element now that Rob Pelinka is going to have to juggle. Not only has he missed out on Kawhi Leonard, he is going to have to try to fill that space with complementary role players for LeBron and AD, and there's a clock on him. He's going to have to try to do it quickly.
And what about the Raptors? They go from the elation of an NBA title with Kawhi Leonard, trying to recruit him to stay with offers of free meals forever if he stays
right.
from Toronto restaurants.
Free meals, apartments, boats, whatever you want.
Everything, all the incentives, but now they have to get over it.
Raptors fans who I spoke to in the last week or so had a pretty good attitude. They won a title that they certainly didn't expect at the beginning of the season. And Kawhi Leonard did everything that he possibly could for them, right? He was traded there. He didn't choose to go there. He was traded there. He came in. He did his job. He was a total pro, and he won them the franchise's only NBA title. So I think there's definitely disappointment in Toronto, and the fact that he flew back to Toronto to take his meeting with the Raptors, I'm sure in his mind that was, hey, I want to be a good guy. I want to cross all the T's, dot the I's, go see them on their terms, on their turf. It did serve to get some of the Raptors fans' hopes up, right, though, when he came to Toronto, and there were people waiting outside the hotel. So that little mountain and valley is going to have to pass. But I think in the end, even the fans who are disappointed will be grateful for what he did while he was there with them.
All right, Rachel, we appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Have fun, guys.
You know, the Clippers have a .406 winning percentage all time. That's second worst.
Coming here to Los Angeles, Southern California native coming to play for the Clippers. He informed the Lakers and the Raptors of his decision, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski. And Kawhi Leonard coming here to the Clippers. He's not going to be alone. His choice of a running mate was Paul George. And the Oklahoma City Thunder going to send George to the Clippers in a trade that will send Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Oklahoma City. Mike Wilbon joining us now. Mike, first of all, what do you think about this decision from Kawhi Leonard?
Well, you know what? I think the decision to be in Toronto or join the Clippers keeps the league much more interesting than just going to the Lakers. And I'm not saying there would have been anything wrong with going with the Lakers. I'm not saying they wouldn't have been fascinating for people just obsessed with the Lakers. But for people who are paying attention to the league in a little broader manner, staying in Toronto or going to the Clippers at least leaves a fascination about what some matchups could be like, what some rivalries could be. And obviously you guys got the rivalry right across the street now when the Lakers and Clippers meet each other, with Kawhi Leonard joining a 48-win playoff team with a coach wearing the championship ring and a special consultant who's the logo of the league, Mr. Jerry West, and the owner, who I guess is perhaps the richest owner in the league, in Mr. Ballmer. So there's I don't know how anybody could be critical of him joining the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm sure there's an entire nation up north that is, somewhere between upset or depressed about him not staying there and trying to pursue more championships. But I think at least by joining the Clippers, it leaves another dimension of interest and fascination with now how the Lakers, and tonight I'm in Las Vegas where I didn't even feel the earthquake. I don't know what my problem is, but the Kawhi Leonard news is bigger in some ways, certainly in a very myopic sports sense, than that, because of what it does with that. The Lakers were filling the house. Laker fans were filling the house tonight, and they were thrilled to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the house. And that's going to be now playing out in a way that the epicenter is going to tilt. But it tilts to both sides of that arena on both locker rooms, Clippers and Lakers. So big news we'll be analyzing for days.
So Adrian Wojnarowski, according to his reporting, Paul George was Kawhi Leonard's choice of a running mate, and maybe that trade, working out that trade with Oklahoma City, is what took so long for Kawhi Leonard to make a decision. What do you think about that tandem added to what the Clippers had last year?
Well, it sounds like a great tandem. It sounds like a great tag team. And, now, immediately, I don't understand. I got to hear more as we go on about why Oklahoma City would be so accommodating to the Clippers. For what? Do they really believe that the Russell Westbrook, Paul George experiment of a couple of seasons is done and they want to go a different direction and get younger and start what appears to be something of a rebuild? And how's Russell Westbrook going to take that? He was playing with his teammate was Paul George first team or second team All-NBA? Either way, we're talking about a top 10 player in the league this season, and now Oklahoma City doesn't have him to accommodate the Clippers. That's going to take some, digesting as we sort of filter through this the next couple of days. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, why not? Who wouldn't want that? And it doesn't seem like you've given up the guts of it. You still got an ensemble around them.
Yep.
To me, that makes them right there, shoulder. It makes them better than the Lakers. The Lakers don't yet have an ensemble. The Lakers don't yet have, a full team that they can go with. And the Clippers apparently do. And that's part of the attraction, I think, of Kawhi Leonard. He knew the pitch had to be, we're not going to gut this team for you to join us. We're going to be contenders from day one. And to me, this trumps the Brooklyn Nets move 10-1. The Brooklyn Nets move is sexy. You get KD, you get Kyrie. Kyrie's last team was better off without him, clearly. And Kevin Durant's not going to play. He's going to have a redshirt year. And then the first year, how close to Kevin Durant is he going to be the first year? So to me, when you get a healthy Kawhi Leonard and you get Paul George and you get the guts of a team that won 48 games being coached by Doc Rivers, that seems to be, if you start talking about the big winner now in free agency this summer, and not just free agency, but obviously trades too, it would seem that the Los Angeles Clippers, to me, would vault to the head of the class given what they've got now in terms of an entire team to trot out there at the end of October.
All right, the Clippers adding 2 All-Stars in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Mike, we appreciate the time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, did you know? By adding both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the Clippers will become the second team in NBA history to add multiple 25-point-per-game scorers in one off-season, joining the 2014-2015 Cavaliers, remember them, who added both LeBron James and Kevin Love. That duo, along with Kyrie Irving, brought Cleveland its first NBA championship in 2016. Let's bring in our Adrian Wojnarowski. So what did the Clippers do?